You've been listening to the sights and sounds of GhettoSongbird, a musician that is born and raised in Philadelphia, but actually makes her home in Delaware now. GhettoSongbird, welcome to the Indie Musician.
COVID-19 has definitely done a lot of damage, if you will, literally and figuratively. How have you been holding up because of all of the changes?
It's been good because I started in 2001 and I've been going nonstop since then. So this was kind of an excuse. It was an unfortunate yet fortunate excuse to take a break and really reflect on my artistry thus far.
You have been performing for 20 plus years and you get your inspiration from musicians like The Doors and Prince and Black Sabbath. What's your biggest challenge as a Black female rock musician?
My biggest challenge as a Black woman in rock is not getting the accolades I deserve, getting the attention I deserve, and getting the gigs that I deserve. Just all around the board, getting what I deserve and getting the respect I deserve. I mean, myself and other rockers have been out there doing this for a long time, and you go every which way trying to do what you love to do, and there's always some type of ism trying to take you down. So my biggest challenge has been that, but through that, I found ways to channel that energy and create my own lane.
Creating your own lane, you've done so successfully. How have you overcome that challenge that you just spoke of?
I believe I'm still overcoming it because this time to sit back and reflect made me realize what I need to do at this moment right now. But during those struggles, I believe creating my own festivals and events and bringing other brothers and sisters on that were going through the same things allowed me to overcome those obstacles, if you call them that.
And from New York all the way down to Florida, up and down the East Coast, you have traveled performing your music. What is the message that you share?
I love traveling. I love actually traveling. So putting a gig in upon those travels are an excuse for me to do two things that I love doing. When I was a little girl, we traveled all the time. So being able to do a show amongst my travels and take my little ones with me is always a great opportunity to rock out.
And rocking out, you do very well. Your music, tell us about the message that you actually share in your music.
My activism is my music. Again, I started in 2001, and back then I wrote about what I saw and heard growing up in the inner city, and I wrote about also the things that I saw outside the inner city that still affected my people. So ever since that time, I don't think I've ever stopped writing about that. That's what I write about now, and I can't stop writing about it until something changes, and unfortunately, I don't see that shift happening the way that it should be happening.
There's been a lot of changes in the world as of late because of the death of George Floyd. There has been a lot of things happening and folks kind of coming together, if you will, joining solidarity around the world. What are your thoughts on that and your music and combining the two? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts right now is it's so important for us to use our gifts, our passions, the things that we were assigned to do, the purpose that we were served to do to move this struggle ahead. No matter what color you are, what culture you come from, what background, what gender, we need to all use our gifts in order to move the struggle ahead.
So let's talk about some of the projects that you have coming up. I know you were working on some things prior to COVID hitting. Do you plan to pick those things back up as we're moving into the green phase around the country?
Yes. I was supposed to be touring right about now. And as that tour is on hold, I shift that tour to more like an online type of virtual tour, doing as many gigs as I can and interviews to kind of like bring it back, scale it back, and promote that first EP I put out in 2002 called Ali of the Earth. And also add on to that by getting back in the studio and recording. My Rocksploitation band and I were actually recording before the pandemic, so we're definitely going to get back in the studio so we can deliver that because my supporters have been wanting something new over the years, and because I've been so focused on touring, I didn't record as much, so I have tons of material to call my catalog.
So if I were to pop in a CD or download one of your tunes from iTunes, what can I expect from Ghetto Songbird?
You can expect a little bit of everything. My music is like gumbo. You can hear the rock influence, the jazz, soul. You can hear funk. You can hear a little bit of everything in my music. I call it rock and roll, but it's a little bit of everything I heard growing up in my mother's album collection.